Well, when you're a master of, coming up with random, well, that too, but also just coming up with different things that play at wordplay, there you go, then it works.
Question.
Yes.
Is Jake really quiet for you as well?
Yes, but I think that's more him talking and being super seductive.
That's
I can
that's
be
he's
more
talk-
seductive if you'd like me to.
Oh, there we go.
It is
Yeah,
because he's
perfect.
super seductive in his ways of.
No one can
Jake.
seduce me. Don't seduce me. I am unseducible.
I don't want to seduce you. You're really
Good. I'm
gross
not.
sometimes.
I was gonna say I'm not into redheads, as if I don't simp over a 2D redhead from Genshin. Holy shit. Holy shit. I've been grinding every day on Genshin so I can earn enough gems so I can wish, and if I don't get this redheaded motherfucker by the end of November, I'm going to cry.
Anyway, welcome to our podcast.
Oh, welcome
Back to
back.
Another
Week-
episode of
Welcome back,
We Could Be Drinking.
the
What
host.
is everyone drinking?
I'm drinking Down East Extra Hard Lemonade. These things I got at a liquor store in Marlborough, Massachusetts, and they are a lot stronger than I thought.
Down
I'm
East?
sweet.
Sorry, Down East?
Down East, yeah.
Oh, they're so good.
Yeah.
I have my tequila shots,
Amazing.
I completely forgot.
as in plural.
Ooh. Hey ho, what are you drinking?
I don't feel good, so I was supposed to do tequila shots.
Is it
with
COVID?
What? It's not COVID.
We were all going to do tequila shots, and then you
Yeah.
pussied out, so I...
So I'm the only one that truly remembered to do things.
How
in
about
life.
you do 3? One for each of us.
Listen,
I am drinking some nice Italian wine because I've befriended my local liquor man, and he has wine tastings every Friday and picks out wines specifically he thinks that I will like.
Now, is this just like some random guy that sells wine out of his basement, or...
No, that's not really. So when you guys
he's a licensed businessman.
Tits McGee,
Toots McGee!
no, it's this really nice liquor store that's down the hill from me. I think you guys went there with me, or maybe
Okay, I wasn't sure if it was that one or not.
yeah. Every Friday they have wine tastings, and I go
Oh, really?
Friday just for the wine tastings,
When do you go? You have to work.
like Friday afternoons.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, like after work, I come home and I like swing by the liquor store, and I'm just like, "Hey," I forget his name. I think I'm not going to say what his name is, but I'm like,
That's probably
"Hey,
good.
John, how are ya?" And he has like 4 different wines, and he's like, "Reds." I'm like, "Yes, please."
I think it'd be way funnier if you did that like before you went to work.
The liquor store, they can't legally sell liquor until 10 a.m. in my state, so
I
Lame.
think that's probably true for a lot of states, to be
Yeah.
honest.
That's definitely kind of a universal thing.
Although my state does allow for liquor to be sold in gas stations and other places, so I'm pretty
So
sure no one really
wild.
judges if you just grab a 6-pack first thing in the morning.
I feel like at our age too, no one's just going to be judging at all if anyone sees you buying liquor.
I mean, it's the same
I-
thing of you drinking in an airport.
Yeah.
I live in a location where everyone of some sort of background is drinking at any point in time,
Yeah.
anywhere in this general location.
Well, like I said, anyone in their 20s or 30s is going to be
Doesn't
drinking.
matter the age. It does. Everyone's
Well,
drinking.
no. I have a point here. My point is that the only people that really are like judgmental of people that are drinking are like 50-year-old men who only drink beer, and if they see, a guy drinking a cocktail, they immediately think he's gay.
Well, that's rooted just in. It's Carrie Underwood. It's Carrie Underwood's fault.
Provide
How?
some context for
yeah, I'd like some context
certain
too.
listeners that don't understand, and also me and Jay.
Okay, so
It's Jake and I.
I forget the name of the song, but she has this song where she's like shitting on a girl because she's
Like,
sipping on some fruit.
Physically?
No, it's
Okay.
Carrie Underwood. She doesn't shit. Anyway,
Oh, forgot. Oh, can you
Is she related to the North Korean
sorry.
person?
Okay.
She is shitting on this girl because her boyfriend, who is cheating on her with this girl at the bar, and instead of getting mad at her boyfriend,
Oh, is this just the song before he cheats?
yes, it's because
Oh,
she's drinking
okay.
some fruity little drink because she can't shoot whiskey.
Oh.
Immediately sexist. Also, that's where my love of whiskey comes from because I can't be a
That
fruit-
song? You went, well, I bet I can shoot whiskey.
Oh, okay. So before I realized my sexuality, Carrie Underwood was like my one true love that I refused to admit. I just thought I admired her. I just thought that I was like, she's fabulous, a great role model. No, she's blonde. Um,
I love the idea of you just for your entire life being like, oh man, she's such a strong woman. She's such an inspiration. And then one day you woke up and go, damn, she's blonde.
well, oh God, my sexual awakening really started with Shigo from Kim Possible. So like, it isn't just blondes.
Yeah, but let's be honest. The official awakening wasn't until like a couple of years ago.
It was when I was like either a senior in college or just graduating.
You had
college.
graduated. You
I
still
remember-
thought you were straight senior year.
I remember curling up on the couch with Erin in our apartment, crying because I was like, "I'm not straight."
I remember you
Ah.
I remember you texted us into our group chat just like this big thing and just like announce it, and all of us were like,
Yeah,
"Yeah, we know.
Listen,
This is not news."
Tell us something important for once, you know?
oh God, it was such a hard thing to like come to terms with because I'm
No,
like,
and I totally get that.
but
Like
it was
I've had people, come out to me. I'm not
Yeah.
going to name names, but I think
Yeah.
you know.
yep.
And it's a hard thing, but like someone
think-
like me, I don't give a shit.
I know, but I think what was the hardest part was accepting that everyone else realized this before I did, and I'm like,
That I
Oh,
can totally get was just kind
it's-
of like a kick in the teeth.
it's not like, oh, my sexuality was confusing. It was, oh, my mentality to my sexuality was confusing.
Yeah.
So
Like people knew this and I didn't. What the hell?
I was like, oh, people saw, oh, this is just strictly trauma that cut
Mhm.
this shit off. Okay.
But hey, we're very proud of you.
Thank
and
you. Thank you.
we welcome your choices and your being.
Don't welcome all my choices.
Yeah, no, Jake,
some
she
of your
makes some-
choices I still question, but
She makes
you know,
some pretty
I
bad
still-
choices
Make
sometimes.
some pretty terrible choices.
You are friends with us, so
Yeah.
Yeah.
You guys are also friends with me. So what does that say about your choices?
Yeah.
just have terrible judgment, people.
Yeah. All right. What are we talking about this
I'm gonna
episode?
say, anyways, Jake was the one in charge of coming up with topics for this week. So
I was, and well, I am, as you all have probably heard in other episodes, I am a well-traveled person,
he is.
and in doing so, I would like to discuss, possible ideal place that we've been and how cool it was, and also pizza.
Pizza.
Just pizza, like in these places we went to, or
That's for you to decide. I mean, it's
Alright.
welcome if you have a little attachment of pizza, but if we were, a cool story from places that we visited and just, discussing how that is
All
made us
right.
who we are in our lives.
does it have to be a cool story, or can it be like a secondhand embarrassment story?
Should
Well,
we
I
first-
have a secondhand embarrassment story of
I have a
I
lot
was
of
abroad
secondhand
when I was
embarrassment
in
stories.
Italy, but
Yes, ho. Please speak.
Should we name the best and worst places we've ever visited and why?
sure.
Now, when you say worst places we've ever visited, like what are the parameters for that?
Not our home state.
Okay.
All right.
All right.
Well, I will start off my worst place I've ever been,
All right.
if I could think of it.
It was the
If I can
host
think of
house.
it.
No home state.
Yeah, but which one?
Well,
There were
he
multiple
doesn't
places where
live in the
hosts
state
lived.
that your house is in.
I don't live in a house.
Your
I live
apartment
in
counts.
a shack. On the side, this is just a very nice cardboard box for anyone who's watching our YouTube.
I
Actually,
spent like
it-
$3 on that. It was a nice box.
Yeah, it was a nice ass box. This
Yeah.
is a snazzy box. It has the front flaps and everything. It's completely
Why?
Oh no!
It has the front flaps and everything. Ooh.
Why did you say it like that?
I didn't sexualize it until you did.
Anyways,
Oh, we're doing really well with that other topic we wanted to discuss with only Ginge, but
Oh, we could have that conversation later.
no,
Ginge,
let's
how do you
have that
feel
on
about
another
the
episode. There's going to be another 3 of Us episode out there somewhere.
Ginge, how do you feel about the Omegaverse?
Oh god, don't get me started. I only learned what it was like a month ago.
Yeah, but we can dive deeper.
No, let's not say we
Yeah.
didn't.
We can.
Anyways, Jake, you had something to tell us.
alright, because I cannot think of the worst place I've ever been, I'm going to go with the best place I've been, and that was definitely my trip to Reykjavik, Iceland.
Oh yeah.
I was really hoping you weren't going to say Iceland was the best place you've ever been because I really want to go to Iceland.
Oh, okay. We should all go.
Yeah.
It's amazing. I wish it wasn't so as expensive as it was,
Yeah.
but it's a whole different thing of the earth. Like, it doesn't, like, landscape is not similar to anywhere else on the earth to Iceland. And there's just so much, like, with as small as Iceland is, there is so much to do, and you possibly cannot get it all done in a single week.
Yeah. It's the type of place that you need to either live there or take multiple trips to.
I've seen a lot, like my family went, we saw a lot of people just backpacking around the island,
Yeah.
and I'm pretty sure a lot of those people were just like, okay, I'm gonna go there for a summer, and they literally walk and just around the entire island and do all the things there.
See, backpacking in general to me would be such a like that's something you are never gonna forget doing, but it's also so just unpredictable. That was a nice throat gurgle there, Jake. Like I know my cousin went to France all by herself before COVID, and just like explored. She went to like France and Poland and Belgium, and just she went all over the place, and just she didn't like backpack, but she didn't make any plans. She made like hotel reservations and stuff at the cheapest places she could find, like the night of, and just explored Europe for 2 weeks and then came back.
That's awesome. That's literally
Yeah.
like the dream.
Like, and that is such a cool thing to do, but at the same time, like
It's pretty scary. Just
it's
Yeah.
it's
Doing
terrifying. Yeah.
I think I can say for all of us, we like a certain amount of certainty.
Yeah.
I personally am type A. I like to pinpoint things down to the
Yeah.
exact minute. So the fact that someone could like just go out and live spontaneously is a terrifying thought, but also like super romantic at the same time.
Well, and it kills me because it's just like the idea of how some people will just like get up and move and just be like, yeah, I want to, start over. For example, my sister
Yeah.
who moved across the country.
God bless her.
Basically, she quit her job at the beginning of last February, and she had moved by the end of the month,
yeah.
which was crazy to me.
I thought it was crazy, like picking up and moving, 2 or 3 hours away from home. But your sister picking up and moving to the literal other side of the country.
Yeah.
I mean,
like
also
actually,
think about me too.
you picked up and moved to the middle of
Yeah,
the country.
exactly.
Like it's insane.
Yeah.
And Ginge, you picked up and moved in with Colby. That is the biggest.
I picked up and moved half an hour away from my parents' house.
But you moved in with Colby.
I
That's
did move
terrifying.
over. Yeah.
As if all of us haven't lived with Colby at this point.
Yeah, exactly. Well, and so to go off what you were saying too, I lost my train of thought.
Mood.
Please
Anyways,
stand clear at the closing doors.
Anyways,
Jake, I would love to go to Iceland one day. Maybe that's when we all have are married and
money.
may or may not have children, and we all are sick of our families and we just want to pick up and pretend we're in college again. So we all go to Iceland.
It's such a funny idea to me.
I would like to do that before kids would be in the picture,
Yeah.
because I'm
terrible.
fine doing that as as married newlyweds kind of thing. That is perfectly fine to have your significant other, even if you're just dating someone that's in a significant relationship with them. Just go with them. as a couple in a way and experience it, because
Yeah.
going as adults is very different than going when you're bringing with kids.
It's almost like taking trips as a group of friends is something you got to do like when you're in your 20s and before you have your entire life mapped out. Because
We got
I
to
just-
figure out a vacation, is what you're saying.
well, yeah, exactly. I just think of it like my parents did not really take trips when my sister and I were growing up unless it was with us. And they've only really started taking trips like without each other since my sister and I graduated college. Like and it's not even like going to a different country. It's my dad will go up to his hometown, which is, 8 hours away from where I live. So it's not even like a, flight to Iceland. It's, oh yeah, I'm going back to my hometown to see people I know there,
It's very different because my parents divorced.
Yeah.
But before they divorced, my sister and I were spoiled, and we went on like 2 semi-international trips every single year.
Yeah.
So we were very well traveled as children. And then my parents got divorced, and my mom stayed well traveled, and my dad stayed a homebody.
Yeah. Well,
So-
the difference is your mother
Is my mother and my
continued
father.
to travel and your dad got another family.
Yeah, my dad got another family. Oops.
Oopsies.
Oops.
Yeah.
I would like to jump to my favorite and worst trips ever, and they're the same trip. And it's
It was
going.
the time you came here and
Yes.
blacked out on the
It
floor.
rubbed mashed potatoes into your carpet.
Yep.
That's exactly it. No.
Yeah, she did that.
It was the time sophomore year I went to London, or I went to England, and it was the best and worst trip. It was the best trip because my dad is originally from England. He was in England. He was born and raised there, and he got to tell me all about like these different locations because he lived in London. So when I was walking around London with the friend that I went with, it was really cool to see all the things that he told me about. It was the worst trip because we didn't get to do really any of the things I wanted to do because we were there with my friend's family. So we were just spending a lot of time with her family rather than doing any of like the touristy things. So I got
didn't
to go to
realize you
London.
were there with her family. I thought you just went as the two of you.
No, we went over there because she has family over there. Her mom is from there, and
Yeah,
all
like-
her mom's sisters and mother and parents are still over there. So we went and
Wow,
stayed with her
didn't know
family and spent a lot of time with her family, which was like great. But also that didn't have time for us to like do the touristy things that she had done a million times growing up.
Yeah.
And I was just
And-
kind of like, I'd like to go sightseeing.
It's
I'd
like
to at least see
you
Big Ben.
you were happy that you were, exploring and you were
Yeah.
on a completely different continent, but you were also doing a meet and greet with a friend's family.
Yeah, like
Which
it killed
those-
me.
yeah.
It was great though because I was 19, so I could legally drink there. So I started drinking a lot of cocktails. I drank a
Were
lot.
you really? I thought you had just turned 20.
No, it was.
That was spring break of sophomore year, right?
Yep.
yeah, you
Oh,
had
I
just-
turned
you had
20.
just turned 20. Yeah.
So I was 20. I still couldn't drink.
Yeah. Yeah, like that stopped you.
I know. Sophomore year, I was just drunk. Sophomore year, it didn't matter.
Yeah.
We were
I was
all
just drunk.
very drunk that year.
That was alcoholism, kids. It's real and it's dangerous.
Speaking from experience, she is.
Yes.
Mhm.
Okay, I'm gonna calm down.
Yeah, I didn't realize that. Like, yeah, you were also just didn't get the experience London.
Yeah.
No, like it was. Don't get me wrong. I'm super grateful for the trip because I don't know when I'll be able to go back to England. I'd love to go back.
Yeah.
Well,
But,
right now with the current events, it's
Yeah,
probably
I
gonna
know,
be
it's too
expensive to go.
But I'd love to go back with my dad
Okay.
and like maybe jump over to Ireland where most of our family actually is to like experience it the way I wanted to versus the way I did.
Well, and the thing is, too, you have a lot of family you have not interacted with at all because
I
both
have
of
a
your
fucking-
parents
I have a
had
fucking farm over
3,000
there.
siblings. Yeah.
I have a farm over there that's going to come to me apparently. There's a pub, a freaking pub that my family owns that my dad keeps sending me pictures of. I'm like, Dad, you don't even drink. Why are you sending me a pub? But I'm like, okay.
He knows you drink, that's why.
No, he thinks I only drink at weddings. I don't know why. He thinks I only drink at weddings.
I forget that your parents really have no sense of you.
When it comes to me, no. My sister, they know everything.
Well, it helps that your sister lives with your mother still.
Doesn't matter. They knew everything when she was in college.
Well, because you also like to keep bottle things in a lot more to people
Okay,
that
but-
you don't
Yeah, that's
associate
also
with
true.
every day.
I've come out to my mother like 4 times. 4 times. Maybe 5, 4.5. Like, I've alluded, not even just straight up alluded. I've been like, Mom, I like women. And she's like, women are pretty, but like,
That is such a 50, woman in her
62.
50s.
she's
Okay,
60.
I was just about to say 50s to 60s year old woman who
Well, yeah.
doesn't quite
Yeah.
understand the idea of bisexuality or any other sexuality
She's
other
like,
than
she's like-
hetero.
she's like, you can appreciate a woman's beauty. I'm like, no, Mom, I want to fuck women. Like, I want to fuck. And she's just like, I don't think this is an appropriate dinner conversation. I'm like, we're not even eating. Like, what do you mean not an
We're
appropriate?
sitting on the couch watching TV. What are you talking
Literally.
about?
Literally. But anyways, okay, my best and worst trip, London. I'd love to go again just to, make it better.
Yeah. All right. I kind of am going to go off the same thing as you did because my best and worst trip is also the same trip. Because in college, in between junior and senior year, I went to Russia.
Do you want to go
And-
back?
Not right now, shockingly.
It's really
so
cheap.
my-
There's only flights going out right now.
Yeah. Weird, isn't it? My advisor in college was also like the dean of or assistant dean of the sports management department at our school, and he had used to work for both FIFA and the Olympics, so he basically takes trips every 2 years to the Olympics and to the World Cup.
Oh, is that how that happened?
That's how that happened, yeah.
That's
And
sick.
the World
Okay.
Cup was in 2018.
Yeah.
So that's when we went. Like in 2020, he would have taken people to the Japan Olympics
Mhm.
in Tokyo. 2016, he took people to
The Rio Olympics.
the Rio Olympics. 2014 to the World Cup.
That's
It's been going on for years and years. And there was I think there was 11 of us, and it was something that I did because like for the first 20 or so years of my life I was just so awkward and closed off, and I just wanted to go out of my comfort zone, and that came up, and I was like, I remember talking to my parents and I was like, this is something I feel like I should do because this is such a good experience to have, and this is something like I will never be able to do again. Like, I don't think I ever will go to Russia again or have the opportunity to, especially in that like type of organization, because we had stuff organized to do every single day, except for one day where he was just kind of like, all right, we have no plans for today. Go ham.
Don't
because-
get arrested.
Yeah, exactly. And it had a lot of structure to it because it also was a class. We also got credit for it because it was a study abroad type of thing.
Were you learning while you were in Russia, or was it beforehand that you were learning? Like,
So
about-
it was, the majority of it was beforehand.
Mhm.
We had to do like a couple different book reports and a bunch of quizzes and stuff. And then while we were in Russia, we had to do a presentation, which kind of sucked. But that was like our final for the class. And then we would have just kind of like, not quizzes, but we'd just have like, we'd have to write down like, basically just record what we did, what happened every day. Almost like a journal of the trip, basically.
That's fun though.
Yeah, no, it was cool. But, the worst part about it was I had never gone on a trip away from by myself. Like the biggest jump I had ever taken by myself was going to college. And you guys know better than pretty much anyone just how rough off I was freshman and sophomore year.
Yeah, you
Just
got
because of
bullied
that.
some by brunette chick for like a solid 2.5 years, but like actually bullied.
Yeah.
Probably myself.
Anyways, so yeah, it was difficult to do, but it also was just one of the coolest things I've done because I got to go to the World Cup. I went to 4 different World Cup games. I went to the opening game in Moscow, which was in a stadium of like 80,000 people.
I think that trip for you really helped ground yourself in some ways. Like
Yeah.
it allowed you to realize you can do it,
Yeah.
which we already knew. It's like
Yeah.
you know, a whore. We all knew it before I did. We
You
all
said
knew-
it though.
Yeah, she said it, not us.
We all knew that you'd be completely fine, but you
Yeah,
had
I
to
just
get
had
out of your
to
own head.
I just had to get out of my own shell.
As Jake just said, this is a very deep episode.
Yeah. Well, and it's just like I don't know, there was a lot of stuff that happened on that trip, which I don't know if we want to go I won't go into detail of it now, but like one of the most terrifying things that's ever happened to me was getting there and for some reason my phone wouldn't work. And my mom had bought a data plan where I basically would just get I think it was a gigabyte of data every day for not 10 days, a whole gig a day for however long I'd be out there.
Which is a lot, I think.
That is no, but that's the
Like, I
thing.
think
And
that's 5 gigs for a month.
I would have been fine, but the problem was the cell phone our company had put it on my sister's phone, not on mine.
I do remember this.
So I had no service on my phone. I couldn't talk to anyone. And when we got there, we flew out of JFK at about 4:00 in the afternoon one day, and we got in at about 7 a.m. the next morning into Moscow because Russia's 7 hours ahead of of that time zone of Russia is 7 hours ahead of New
the New York
England.
area, yeah.
Are
Yeah.
you sure it's only 7 hours? Because England is 5.
Yeah,
So-
Germany when I lived
Russia
there was 6 hours.
Russia has like 8 or 9 different time zones in it.
It's a long boy.
It's a huge thing, and Moscow and St. Petersburg, which is the 2 countries we were in, are very eastern. That's
Two
why.
cities. Two
Yeah.
cities.
Did you
Yeah.
fly over Europe to get there, or did you like fly back around? Well, if
We
it's-
flew over Europe. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
So-
we went JFK to Moscow.
So the Moscow is western.
Well, I'm saying it's eastern. In
It's
terms-
east of New York.
Yeah,
It's east of New York, but West Russia.
But
Western
Western
Russia.
Russia,
Yeah,
yes.
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, no, that was very confusing the way I worded it.
I mean, we live on a globe, so everything
Yeah.
is west of each other.
No, but yeah, I
The
got
world
in
is
there.
round,
I got in there.
spherical,
not flat earthers.
flat.
Weird. You know what is flat though? Pizza.
And the hose ass.
No.
I'm not showing my ass, but it was flat. It's not as flat. You know what is flat? These titties. Anyways, back to pizza.
But
Well,
yeah,
St. Petersburg.
St. Pete. So I just want the record to state that Moscow is like a New York City, but somehow with less color and people speaking Russian.
Isn't Moscow the one with the pretty spindly castle?
Yes.
And there's less color there?
St. Basil's
That's the
Cathedral. Yeah, that's the only colorful thing in Moscow. St. Petersburg, on the other hand, is gorgeous.
Well, I mean, have you seen Anastasia? Of course it's gorgeous. It's a fucking royal city.
Yeah, it's so cool. So, yeah,
Do you
it
guys
was,
think that Anastasia really died? Do you believe that conspiracy theory? Were y'all obsessed with the Romanovs?
no.
I mean, after watching a show of Anastasia, that gave me the only insight I knew of, the Russian royals.
And I know Ginge read the same book, when I was a kid, it was part of the 39 Clues,
Oh my god.
where the Romanovs were part of this super powerful family, and she didn't actually die.
I forgot about that.
That is
Wait,
I also
so you're
read the 39
basing
Clues, okay?
your entire conspiracy theory off of the 39 clues?
No, I'm also basing it off the song Rasputin.
Oh, okay.
Also,
another very
it is a
reputable-
very well-known Russian conspiracy theory.
Yeah,
of
it's
the-
very
Okay.
well known.
Shockingly, I don't know a lot of Russian conspiracy
like there is a
theories.
whole Broadway musical on this. It's going to be pretty.
There's a whole
Ooh.
movie that the Broadway musical is based off of.
Yeah.
Oh, so what you're saying? So, moral of this story is that I'm just stupid.
Yeah.
Yes.
Cool.
The only reason I really remember that 39 Clues book is because it's my absolute favorite because of the drama.
Which one is it?
5. Because it's like the peak drama between Ian and Amy, and I'm a sucker for that.
The thing that I remember that just killed me about that series was
They're 12. They're fucking 12.
they're 12 and 14, and they make so much romance out of it.
I lived for that romance.
I
I
know
read
you
the
did.
entire all 3 series of books.
I also
because I wanted
another
that
thing that killed me about that series was how they initially were planning on having it be a 39 book series, each written by a different author, and then the entire thing was supposedly going to be this huge book like extravaganza. They had like cards and games set up for everything.
online.
and then-
Like it was
Yeah, it was supposed to be like this online MMO type of thing.
and there was
and-
like lore that you couldn't get in the book, and
Yeah.
there were secret codes in the book. It was wild.
It was really cool, and then the whole thing fell apart.
Yeah,
So
like book
they
4 and a
went
half, it just
9
stopped.
books of each one they found a clue in, and then in the 10th book they just went, fuck it, let's just end it. And then they just crammed everything into the 10th book, and then
What
went, oh god, people really seem to actually have enjoyed this series, and wrote 2 spin-offs of it.
Yeah, and the spin-offs weren't good.
This first one was.
It was good at the
It was
I
good
don't
for like the
that they
first
killed
2 or 3
Amy's
books.
Friend. They literally killed Ethan.
Yeah.
Well, spoilers in case you were going to read the 39
Yeah,
Clues.
sorry.
Thank
Yeah,
you.
spoilers for a book series that came out 10 years ago.
For 3rd graders.
Yeah,
Is this seriously come out 10 years ago?
Jake, it's probably earlier than
Closer
that.
to 15 years ago. At
Jake,
this
Jake, I hate to break this to you. We were 15 10 years ago.
Yeah, I started reading the 39
Excuse
Clues.
me, I had to go
When I-
jump out the window.
I started reading the 39 Clues when I was in 6th.
Hang on. Let me
I remember
find
using
out.
that, like going to the Scholastic Book Fair and buying
When
those books.
did
Yeah.
the... Actually, I'll just look. First 39 Clues.
You know what kills me about like childhood books that you love?
Maze of
You
Bones.
can't go back and reread them because the writing style just makes you want to cry because they're written
Yeah.
for children.
Yeah. 2008 was when Maze of Bones came out.
14 years ago.
Yeah.
Wow. And I kept reading them until I was 17.
I still have
also a
the
little
majority
dumb,
of the
so-
series too. I have
I have the entire
entire-
series in my kitchen.
I don't have the entire series. I have the entirety of the original series, the entire first spin-off, and the first 3
Of the third.
third spin-off.
I have
Or
all of
second
them.
spin-off. How many how many are in the second spin-off?
I think there's only 4.
Oh, okay, so I'm not missing that many.
No. You know what I realized today? My Percy Jackson series.
Yeah.
I have 4 of the first 4 books of the original cover art, and then the 5th one is not the original cover art because my sister busted my 5th one. I'm like looking to like buy a 5th one, the 5th with the original cover art today, and I was looking, it's like $72. I'm
Okay, so you and I are on the same page that you gotta have books that are the same.
like, I don't
you
even
can't
care.
cover style.
Yeah.
Well,
Okay.
no, I don't give a
I'm
shit about that. The problem is
I do.
I read all of those books when they had the original cover art.
Yeah.
I had the book with the original cover
like
art.
the
and my sister
original
just-
Lightning Thief one is him standing in like the Hudson River with his sword, just looking up at the Empire State Building.
which should have been a red flag because don't stand in the Hudson River. Don't stand in the East
The
River.
Hudson River is also not, a foot deep too.
I mean, in certain areas it is. It is a
Okay,
island.
but that's only if you're standing on dead bodies that are piled up.
No, like there's
If you go upstate New York, there where the beginning of the Hudson River is, it's pretty shallow up there.
Like,
Okay, but they're not at the beginning of the Hudson River.
but I'm saying there's certain areas of New York where there is like a maybe a 6 foot stretch of beach into the Hudson River.
This is true.
There's also like I went into the beach at the East River. I don't recommend either.
Why
Doesn't
would
one
you
of the
do
rivers
that?
in New York have more fecal matter than actual water?
Yeah, I was very drunk when I went to the East River Beach. Me and Aaron were in Brooklyn, and we found a location that a K-pop star went to. So we were like, we gotta go there, and it was
Now, was the K-pop star there, or were you guys
No.
just you guys
No,
were
no.
just going because they had been there?
yeah, we took pictures. It was a great place. It was the same. So the beach is located just between the Brooklyn Bridge and the Manhattan Bridge.
Okay.
So you took some awesome pictures there. You just happened to be on the
Okay.
beach next to the East River.
Okay, that makes sense.
It's like people going to that one staircase in Brooklyn.
Yeah.
Where
Because of the Joker
was.
movie, yeah. Okay, that makes sense. I thought it was just kind of like they went to a beach, and you guys were like, "Oh my god, he went to a beach. We have to follow his scent."
Don't put that. Don't
And
put
they
us
were
past
roommates.
That. We will
And
do
they
that. We would do that if we had like an exact location and we were within like 20 minutes. We'd sprint. I don't run and I'd
Oh.
sprint.
I was gonna say if you'd run, you'd pass out within like 5 seconds.
Oh yeah, I take 2 steps, fall over.
You stand up the wrong way, you pass out.
It's unhealthy. I'm unhealthy.
Standing up is unhealthy.
Yeah. Why do you think I'm sitting all the time?
Oh, that
I'm
tracks.
very lazy.
We do notice.
But also, you work an office job, so
I work at an office job, but I'm running around to different areas every
I wish I was. I work an office job and I don't move all day.
I'm a-
same.
I take the subway
Yeah, but
probably
here's-
like 6 times a day. It's
Yeah.
annoying.
I wish I wish I was up and moving that much. Like I have to take walks on my lunch break just to get feeling in my legs again.
That is one of the benefits of my job. It's like
Yeah, like
it's an office job, but I'm constantly going around the city.
I don't know. I like my job and I like doing what I do, but I wish it was way more active. Like when I was working, I used to work in a warehouse at a baseball stadium, and that was exhausting. And I was dead every day. And I literally would work like 10 to 10 shifts for doubleheader games, just like loading crap all over the stadium. But it was wild because it was never boring, you know?
I mean, I also worked in a warehouse one summer, and I wanted to kill myself, so I can't relate.
And that was the summer before I worked in one. Because before that, I worked at a campground, and I wanted to kill myself then.
Yeah, it's like when I worked at an amusement park. I like the amusement
Yeah,
park.
but here's the thing, though. Do we really need to get into when you worked at an amusement park? Because
No,
there's a
yeah.
lot we can get into with that.
No,
one.
I was an absolute bitch. I was a man. I was a supervisor. I had the ego the size of an elephant.
Yeah.
I was a piece of shit. I know that. But I had a great time.
I think we saved that
No, we're not.
those stories for.
We're
when
not doing
it's-
therapy on. We're not doing therapy on a podcast.
I was just saying, recounting all the
We
stories.
like touched a
because
little bit on it today, though.
Well, no,
We
I'm saying
did. It wasn't. I don't know if it was therapy. It was more just like us recounting how we've grown as people.
Well, I'm glad to say that both you and the Ho have grown a lot.
Oh
in
yeah,
the time that I've known you guys. I don't know how much I've grown, but
you've grown.
you've grown, but I don't think it's as much as the two of us have. If I'm being
But you
honest.
were
You're-
already more mature than both of us combined.
Yeah.
We were playing catch up.
Yeah. Well, and you just think of us freshman year of college when we were both idiot 18-year-olds. Like,
I was still.
yes, I still think of the time, Ginger, where I just took that little handful of pepper and just blew it in your face because I was having a weird sugar high that night,
oh my god.
and you were like, "Why?"
We were in,
You
no, we were
like,
in the
pissed
cafeteria
off.
for that, right?
Yes. Yeah,
Yeah,
we were in the
we
back
just-
room of the
The
cafeteria.
back room. Yeah, because that was our go-to place. It was like they had the front.
and we had that
room
giant
area.
table.
We had that
with-
giant table area.
Teria.
And this asshole just takes the pepper shaker, pours a ton of it out into his hand, makes full eye contact with me, goes right into my face.
Was it like pepper spray? Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, you said I could pepper spray you.
Yeah, I
Jake
didn't
just
think it
took
was like that.
Well, I
I
didn't
just-
do it.
No, this is okay. Yeah, I really was bullied freshman year.
Yes, you were. And
Because- The hoe was also asked me probably once a week. It averaged out to if she could test out her pepper spray on me.
I never did it though, so I think that shows a strength of character on my part.
No, it
As a
doesn't.
freshman,
That just shows lack of opportunity.
Because I started a bonfire. I didn't start it. Who started that bonfire? We've gone into this on
Jake
podcast.
did.
yes,
Oh.
I started the
Yeah.
fire.
Jake did. Colby got blamed for it. We went over that already.
There's a lot of things that I've done in college at that school in
That
particular
you were not
that,
blamed for.
and
That we yell
I'm
at
glad
you after.
I'm glad they kicked me out after 2 years because they would not have been able to make it for the full 4 years if I was there.
If they, the main reason you were kicked out was
It's because
not,
I can't do math.
yeah.
Yeah.
But
Or you
if
just
that
sleep through a
school
stats
found
exam.
out
Shut up.
the rest of the things,
So me and Jake lived together sophomore year. And we had the exact same class schedule because we thought it'd be so much fun to, live together and then go to the same classes together.
I thought it was a good idea. because
It
you
was
got
a
all
good
this stuff
so
done.
on paper that sounds like a good idea.
It was a good idea
Just because
until,
you can keep yourselves accountable.
until the professor realized it, and I tried to wake Jake's ass up, told him we had a stats exam. He told me to fuck off, so I fucked off and went to class. And then when the professor goes, "Where's your roommate?" and I went, "He's still sleeping."
Yeah.
I can't lie to a professor.
Okay, even if you
Especially
had
when
tried to
someone
lie-
has had a name as awesome as she did, where
Oh,
there was like a
God.
whole
Like,
song about
She
her.
was so scary though,
Here-
too.
Here's
She was
the
just like,
thing, too. It's one thing to lie to a professor. It's another thing to lie to a professor about the fact that your roommate that you live with is not here for a reason that is not that he's sleeping.
I was like, I really tried to think of something. I was like, oh, maybe she'll just like not notice, or like, oh, maybe she won't call me out. She goes, "Where's Jake?" I'm like, "Jake?" She goes, "Your roommate?" I was like, still sleeping. Mind you, it was an 8 a.m. class, so like there
Yeah.
was no coffee in my system.
And it's also, to give Jake
It's
some
not my
credit, it's also not like it was a 2 o'clock class and Jake was just lazy as
No,
shit.
it was an 8 a.m. class.
Yeah.
It was an 8 a.m. class, but also like I was a little pissed that she was like,
Where's
pissed at
Jake?
me.
Yeah, she put you on the spot
like,
for
excuse
something
me?
that had
So
nothing to do with you.
it was more because that whole semester I was already on academic probation.
I mean, me too.
Day one, she during the first week she told me, she's like, "Okay, I already know you're on academic probation. I know we're gonna try and get you off of this so that way you can stay at the school and keep doing what you're doing." But then she's like, "Oh, I also looked up and I know that you and Rachel are living together, so hopefully and she's also on it too. So hopefully, both of you
really
guys can
don't-
stay on top of each other and,
I
get
didn't
this
like-
stuff done."
I don't like that they have access to who our roommates are. I really don't think that's like appropriate.
Yeah, I don't think professors should have access to
I
that
don't
because
think-
they can make judgments based on that.
I don't think
Yeah.
it's the roommate that she was able to put it up with. I think she's able to see where we lived, and
Yeah,
if she
and
just
we
put
both
it,
lived in the
and
same
because it
apartment.
said the
Yeah.
exact same,
It would say the same
unit,
apartment, so
then yeah, she's like, okay, I guess these guys live together because you can't really subdivide already established unit that's on
Also,
campus
Yeah.
property.
the professor was a PhD student, so like she wasn't actually a professor. So she had already gone through undergrad and her graduate, and we were just the kids who kind of mooched off of group projects.
yeah.
So we were already the kind of kids she hated.
Well, and the thing is, you guys really put forth no effort at all sophomore
Excuse
year.
me, I got onto honor roll that second semester. I went from academic probation to honor roll. I got
Are we talking about second semester, or are we
Yes.
talking about the semester you were on academic probation?
No, first semester of sophomore year, I was on academic probation. The
Yeah,
second
that's the one I'm
semester,
talking about.
This was during
No,
the second
this
semester.
was during the second semester.
So I got an A in this class. I got an A in every single one of my classes that semester.
Because you didn't want to get kicked out of the school.
No, because I didn't want to deal with my roommates, so I ran away to the library.
Oh,
I was not the problem. It was
I-
obviously Colby.
It was obvious.
Yeah, it was all Colby.
I ran
Also, that's a
away.
story for another day that
We're not
definitely
tell-
won't
we're
be
not telling
told.
we're not telling that story on podcast ever.
Ever?
Nope.
Nope.
What if we get written permission?
Still
I would-
no. I just don't think it's an important thing to talk
No,
about
it's
in our
not.
life,
It's
and
not. I know.
No.
we've all grown.
Anyways, moving on. Pizza.
Pizza?
Yep.
I still think Connecticut pizza is the best, and I know that it's going to piss off a lot of people. It's already pissed off most of my coworkers, but Connecticut pizza is superior to all pizza, and I will not hear any arguments.
Shockingly, I will agree.
Yep. Pepe's
Field.
Pizza on in New Haven, Connecticut. Bomb pizza.
Still, I've had so I
Amazing
haven't
pizza.
had a Pepe's that's in New Haven, but I've had the one that's at Mohegan Sun.
Well, it doesn't matter. It's still the same.
It's
Oh,
it's
is it? Okay,
it's,
it was
it's
good.
not. It's not quite the flavor.
And that's what I figured. I didn't think it would be
There-
the same because it's
Like it's the same.
almost
It's the
like a
same
chain.
cooking style. It is the same cooking style, but
That
you
nice
don't get
thin
that
crust.
Yeah.
thin crust coal oven, but you don't get the 100-year coal
Oil.
oven
Yeah,
that's at the one in New Haven.
100-year-old oil.
Well, I was thinking of because they use like a certain kind of like oil from.
Oh, you're talking about like
that's-
a recipe type.
Yeah,
of thing.
like a
I thought
vineyard.
you were just like, hey, you don't
Vineyard.
get like the 100-year-old aged oil. that
Yeah,
they
this is
use
just a bottle of oil I've had for 100 years.
since
Because
1922.
we totally knew that we were going to still be open. What is y'all's favorite pizza from Pepe's? Because mine is
I've only
questionable.
had one ever, so mine will be a
So-
little biased.
So I really do enjoy their plain like cheese pizza. I also really enjoy their meat pizza. Those are both really good.
Pizza.
I have had a slice of their famous white clam pizza.
that's my
And
favorite.
I was just
It's-
gonna say
it's-
that's totally her favorite.
I love the white clam pizza.
It's
You
really
are
good.
such a
It's very
sucker for
overpriced
weird
though.
Oh, it's
things.
so overpriced, but like
It's also delicious.
it's amazing. It's oil, potatoes, sausage, white clams, spinach. It's
Okay, that does
it,
sound really good.
it's really good.
See that the thing is though, if anything has just like a weird seafood quality to it, you're going to like it.
I like seafood.
Exactly.
I don't like
So-
seafood when it gives me histamine poisoning, but I like seafood.
Well, weird, isn't it?
Maybe I shouldn't order weird poke bowls from sketchy kitchens. Anyways,
I
Yeah,
would just
so-
like the record to state that I told you not to do it that night.
it was during the day at work. You didn't tell me shit.
Really?
and you
I
learned
thought
the
there
hard
was
way.
there was one day I told you not to get something, you did it anyways, and you felt like shit after.
Yeah, but I didn't get histamine poisoning. I ordered a poke bowl from a sketchy restaurant in New York, and then the next day I broke out in hives and had to go to the ER.
Yeah.
My kidneys were about to fail, apparently. So
Isn't that just like a constant state of being for you?
yeah.
I also like to.
If anybody listening would like to donate me their kidney, I will accept. Thank you.
Anyways, as
Also-
Jake was saying about pizza,
Going back to pizza, I'd also like to throw in our honorable mention of Pepe's by the Slice in.
Did you know they closed down the one by the school?
yeah,
Yes,
they've closed that one
That's
down
been closed for a
while.
very long time.
That's been closed like
since you guys graduated college.
yeah.
Oh my god.
That closed.
It would still
So-
no. It closed
No, 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 no.
2020.
So here's the thing. It closed basically like a few months after we moved out.
Well, I was up there until January.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Oh, okay. Well, you were up there till January.
Yeah,
too.
no, I'm saying we graduated in May, but then you, me, Colby, and Aaron still all lived up in the area of our college because of our leases until the end of 2019 and beginning of 2020, and then we moved. We all moved back home, and
then
around then,
COVID.
and then COVID hit, and around then was the time that Peppa's closed. Yeah.
But they
if-
still had their main location open.
Yep, and I
Yeah.
really need to go. I'm actually going up to that area this weekend to go see our little blonde friend. I might have to go get a slice of pizza, but also I'm going to a nice fair. Jen, we should-
Shout out to their French fry pizza.
Oh my god, okay.
When are you going? 'Cause,
Saturday.
anyways,
All right,
thanks for
bye,
watching, everyone.
everyone.
Follow us on TikTok and Instagram at We Could Be Drinking.
And don't forget to like and subscribe.
Goodbye.